And we're back, folks. We are back. We had a few technical difficulties. We're back, everybody. We're back. We're in the studio here. We got Kevin Tinkin remote.
Kevin Tinkin remote here from the studio.
Kevin,
almost dead of COVID.
How you feeling, Kevin?
I feel all right. Dude, I keep coughing stuff up. I literally was like hitting my chest to release some of the phlegm, and then my
semen.
I've had to wear I had to wear a mask to bed, and then my wife was like, "Hey, could you just sleep out in the living room, and then I'll just wake you up when I get up, and you can come sleep in the bed." So I've been doing that.
Why
for 2
the
days.
mask? Does your wife not have COVID?
No, she doesn't have it. She's the only one who hasn't tested positive. But everybody else is not good.
Yeah, dude.
But she went to work today.
What?
Dude,
Jenny,
she went to work.
Jenny, your side pieces have it?
No, none of my side pieces have it. The only one that may have something is the dog. But
that could get transferred through peanut butter, I heard.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, dude.
Bodily fluids.
You know what? Speaking of peanut butter, we got a very funny email this week. Let me fucking find it.
Oh, real quick.
Shout out to the homie peanut butter.
While you look for that, welcome to Bag Fries. Make sure to send us emails at bagfriespod@gmail.com. I'm Bruce Gray. That's Kevin Tinkin on the couch and Bryan Vokey. Make sure to go follow Bag Fries on the Instagram and check out Fat Jocks with these two fat cocks.
Yeah, Brian. And Brian's other podcast, too.
The Brian and Ramsey Show, shortened as Boners. We were debating. We used to be called Worst Hour of the Week, and we were debating changing it because we didn't want to give anybody promises of news anymore because we were sick of doing fucking homework. So,
yeah.
So we were like Brian and Ramsey Show, and Ramsey just BNRS, Brian and Ramsey Show. He just did a Google Doc with that on there, and I was like, oh, that's why he likes that name. It's Boners. And he didn't know.
That's great.
He didn't even realize it. And then when I told him that, it was like I gave him the 7 keys of the fucking heaven's gates. Like he was like, that is brilliant. Boners?
Boners, the podcast?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I do like it. Ramsey always gets excited about boners, folks. But
are you on the toilet right now?
That's good.
You do? Yeah, there's a very bathroom type sound coming through right now.
Yeah, I'm on the toilet. This is my main workstation you're seeing me at right now, and this is where I do all my work. All my parenting is from this couch.
Is COVID giving you diarrhea?
Yeah, Brian yesterday talking about this new strain of COVID used the word, he said he heard it's very diarrhea-based. So what we were curious about, yeah.
It's just a diarrhea-based custard here. You'll notice the consistency is chunky, yet liquid.
You're on Chopped.
Yeah. The Duke of Blumpkin.
What I've prepared for you today. God damn it, I can't find this fucking email. This is an insane email. This dude sent us a thing about dicking down a jar of peanut butter.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that? Right. Where is it at? Did you send me that?
Fucked I couldn't. The jar?
Wait. Okay, here we go right now.
Gotta go reduce sodium on that.
I'm not going to give the name of this one, obviously. I think you might have sent this to Tinkin directly. So, let me see.
It's Barack Obama. Just say it.
He said, whenever I was going through puberty, I grabbed a jar of Jif Creamy. He makes sure to say it's creamy peanut butter from the pantry. Took it back to my bedroom.
He's not a pervert.
No, he's
crunchy. That's like a pussy full of gravel.
Yeah, dude. We've all been there. Pussy full of gravel. Hey, we all have fucked the lady who holds the stop sign at the construction site. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the
first album title.
Pussy full of gravel, man.
Yeah.
Y'all know construction site pussy, the best pussy you could get. It says right here, when I was going through puberty, I grabbed a fresh jar of Jif peanut butter from the pantry, took it back to my bedroom, and gave it a decent dicking down. A few days later, my mom scolded me for taking the peanut butter to my room because it's expensive, and then she put it back in the pantry. The previous day, my sister and I had PB&Js packed in our lunches.
Oh, boy. Well, that's a good way to get, if the oil separates, to get it mixed up back together.
Yeah.
That's all he was doing.
Well, he said it was Jif Creamy. I don't know how much Jif Creamy separates.
Right, I'm only familiar with the hippie peanut butter.
Yeah, I was like, good thing it's not Justin's or whatever the fuck that shit's called.
Jif Natural.
Yeah, I don't know.
That stuff's nasty.
It really is, man. Whenever you're in that thing, you're looking for something to fuck. And if the peanut butter jumps out at you.
When you're in that thing?
When you're in that
puberty?
Yeah. I meant to say when you're in that phase. When you're in that phase, you're looking for something. Anything could get dick down, and that's a danger. You're entering into a dangerous period in your life, Tinkin, of having a young man in your house who's going through puberty, because I'll tell you right now, things around your apartment are going to start getting fucked.
It's going to be like Steve Harvey. He's going to be like, your son fucked everything in that driveway. Everything in that driveway he fucked.
I'm going to grow a mustache and just give disapproving, just nods. And dude, I don't know what he's so secretive though, man. Like,
of course, he has
like
to
a
be
Navy SEAL with this stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's good, and I'm like keeping my eye out.
Do you know how weird it'd be if he was just like, if you're at the dinner table and you're like, "How was your day?" And he's like, "Well, I fucked a tricycle."
Yeah. Hey, y'all know that thing you do with your tooth where you tie a string around your tooth and then you slam the door so the tooth comes out. Yeah, I was doing that, but with my penis.
I had an electric toothbrush up my ass, and I was flushing the toilet with my cock in the water.
Yeah, it's just,
it was a good day.
Yeah, you should be lucky that he's secretive.
Mom, your new washing machine? I slammed my dick in it. I felt so warm.
I put my dick on gentle, did a nice little tumble dry.
Yeah.
Wait, can we go back to that email real quick though?
Fluff and fold.
To say that you gave a decent dicking to peanut butter.
Yeah, he's very confident in how well he fucked the peanut butter.
Well, the rating of fucking is on the other person. Like, if you dick somebody down.
Yeah, and then you're the one saying it.
Yeah, like, you can't make an inanimate object come. So, stop with the fucking showboating.
Yeah.
Maybe you can.
Yeah. Hey, when I was done with that peanut butter, it was chunky, all right?
Can you imagine if they made Toy Story that way? Where the peanut butter's in the shower with a blanket being like, I feel so dirty.
But do you think, I don't know, dude. If I opened up the peanut butter, he must have stirred it. But if you fuck the peanut butter, you have to stir it afterwards so nobody sees your pecker imprint in the peanut butter. Otherwise, you're fucked. You're going to get in big trouble.
Also, he better be circumcised.
Is he going to develop friction with the peanut butter? I don't.
Yeah, I would like
how
to.
Does that even
I know
functional?
This guy's listening right now. I'm not going to say his name, but if you can email back and tell us how it was.
There was one time this
search for the peanut butter fucker.
Yeah.
There was this folk punker staying at my house in Oakland one time. He was in a band called Blackbeard Rom. I don't know.
They sound great.
I didn't like it, but I came downstairs in the middle of the night to get some food, and he was fucking our couch.
Good.
Yeah, like he was on his knees, not the middle crease. He was on his knees, fucking where the cushion meets the
back part.
Down there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. He was on.
That's
his
crazy. I would never even think. I mean, that probably is the best part of the couch to fuck if you're gonna.
Crazy, man.
No, it's because I was thinking. I was like, what? In my mind, he's fucking at mission. He was fucking the couch doggy style.
Yeah.
Where I was thinking he was doing it missionary, and he was fucking the in between the cushions. No, this guy's on the ground. Did you say anything, or were you just whatever?
I think I
Bryan Vokey here walked in on a roommate fucking a couch. Now
he was not a roommate
when he first walked to the house.
He was crashing.
Oh,
he was crashing. No, but he. I think I just said what up, and then walked to the kitchen because I think I didn't know what to say. And I think later on that guy had some punk version of Me Too issues. I'm not sure though. But
was it from a person or from a piece of furniture?
I think our couch. Me Too.
Yeah, it was. He was at Pee Wee's Playhouse. Yeah. And,
Yeah, it's funny because that reminds me of whenever Clint Eastwood pulled up the chair at the Republican National Convention. He's like, and he pretended it was Obama, but I'm just picturing Clint Eastwood with your couch, like, and then what did that folk punker? What did he do to you?
Did you ever see The Rock at the RNC in 2000?
No,
dude, The Rock. The amount of change that has happened in this culture. Like The Rock was at the 2000 RNC and he goes, and he just comes out and he's like, The Rock has come to the Republican National Convention. If you smell, and it's like there's like I don't know some fat Republican next to him, and it's just like I don't know. That would never happen now.
Al Gore, you jabroni! You think you can come in here and change this planet? It's just talking about he's gonna fucking. I'm gonna give Al Gore a rock bottom directly on top of. Fossil.
Here's an inconvenient truth for you, Al Gore. My boot, your ass.
Yeah. That bitch Tipper Gore, you think that we need to put expletive thing on top of CDs?
When I'm done with you, you'll be as homeless as a polar bear. Al Gore was the guy obsessed with polar bears, right?
Well, I don't. Oh yeah, he always talked about polar bears.
That's when they had that CG'd polar bear dying.
On
do you ever watch an Inconvenient Truth?
Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
It looks
worst Pixar movie ever.
It dies like it dies like an animal in Big Buck Hunter.
Yeah.
The way you shoot an animal in Big Buck Hunter, it just goes. It just falls
Big
over.
Buck Hunter, this is a regional reference for you, Bruce. My father's place in Portland, Oregon, I had the highest score on Big Buck Hunter
really?
For a long time.
I
had come back, and it was still there.
Wow.
I don't want to say what my initials were, but let's just say they started with F and ended with G.
It was a different yeah, man. You know what? It might have still been
Frank Anthony Guerrero at it again.
It might have.
It was Fig. What are you thinking?
You know what? I would go to my father's place quite often up there because I've won quite a bit of money playing video poker over at my father's place. But I've also played Big Buck Hunter at the Big Buck Hunter. Big Buck Hunter. I was there last time.
I also play Big Buck Hunter. I also play Big Buck Hunter. It's very good. You shoot a gun. It's great.
That's a great character. Like you're doing sideline interviews at the Big Buck Hunter World Championship, and he's like a representative from every country there, dude. But I was there, and I think it still might have been the high score, but it really at this point in time could have been anybody. You know,
I set that high score in 2011. There's no way it's still standing.
Well, I mean, I think it was the same initials, but probably a different.
Yeah. No, for sure. I'm sure those are taken all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you got ass. Those are the ones. Like tit is good. There's a few other ones I don't want to get too deep into.
I don't either.
That people use. But you know, Big Buck Hunter. There's a Duck Dynasty version of it right now.
I mean, I've played.
You get to kill the racist grandpa. No, I'm kidding. Cy is his name. He gets up and he's like, "Y'all got any juice?" And then you'd shoot the fuck out of him.
Big Cuck Hunter.
Y'all got any juice?
I don't know what the fuck he says on that show. I don't know
That's his catchphrase.
I just know he has a cup all the time, and it's probably sweet tea or something.
Yeah. Where's the peanut butter?
For sure.
So this guy.
Welcome to the pizza shop. Get yourself some beer. Enjoy the Buck Hunter version.
We got this guy right here. You know what's cool, Kevin, is you could do anything you want on this episode, and then later, whenever you get kicked off of SNL, you could just be like, I don't know, man, I had COVID, my brain waves were all fried at the time.
I've changed since then. I learned my lesson.
Most specifically, my underwear, because I was shitting myself the whole time.
I had a diarrhea-based illness.
Wait, you never answered that. Have you been shitting your brains out?
I didn't. No. So my son has like zero symptoms. I am like super congested and keep coughing. Annie, my daughter, has had the double pipe explosion where she's throwing up and pooping, and that's been fun. And then I gotta like it's horrible to be a dad sometimes, but it's good to be able to be there for him, but at the same time, like I'm just like trying to calm her down, and like she's like taking a huge dump, and just like I'm like, it's okay. She's like, I'm gonna pass out, Dad. I'm like, you're not gonna pass out. You're okay. Like, if just keep talking to me. And she's just like, I don't know. And then I'm handing her a bucket into the. It's so that's been fun.
She's in the other room writing a manifesto. This is a core memory that's being formed right now. Is having COVID, being in the other room, and your dad talking into a microphone to people on the internet be like, yeah, she's in there taking a big dump right now.
Yeah, she's gonna be talking to her friends at school, and they're like, "Do you like podcasts?" And she's gonna be like, "No." And she's like, "Why?" Because she's like, on podcasts, how your dad's always talking about how you have diarrhea. I just don't really like podcasts.
Yeah, this is actually a diarrhea-based
talking about my
podcast.
puberty, and diarrhea.
I guarantee you, in about 4 years,
love stories.
In about 4 years, you're gonna be wishing these were the problems you were dealing with her.
Yeah.
Dude, I know. Seriously, I'm constantly terrified that it's gonna get bad. But and her friends, like she's got cool friends, which is scary as hell.
Yeah,
like, I don't like cool friends. Nope. I want boring,
Magic the Gathering,
chill friends. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like do chill. So Will keeps playing Fortnite. Like that's his activity with his boys, playing Fortnite. I'm like, this is fine. Mm-hmm. Like this is good. But none of all these kids, by the way, socially are broken. Like they are. It's so odd. Like
they were inside for 2 fucking years.
They're like sitting at the table. I'm like, what do you guys want for dinner? Whatever. So we order pizza and we go get soda, like everything they want. And then they sat at the table and started eating. And then they both were like, I look over, they're both on their phone, just like not talking to each other. I'm just like, what is happening? Like you guys are spending the night, like hang out. And they're just on their phone. He's like, Dad, we're having some private time right now.
You know what's actually happening is they're texting each other about how fat and stupid you are.
Yeah. Oh, laugh it up.
They're like, I just gave your bitch ass father COVID. I spit in his Dasani.
Yeah. Dude, let's go pee in your dad's water jug again.
I beat off in your dad's diary.
Your kids are gonna. My jokes. Oh, my jokes.
Yeah. You come in, your son's friend's just smashing his dick in your notebook. Like, oh, your dad's so funny, huh? How funny is this? I bet he's such a funny comedian. I bet he's so successful. We got another email right here. I'll leave the name out, even doesn't say to do or don't, but it says, hey, since you guys brought up, Brian, you would actually like this is up your alley. Since you guys brought up Bud Dwyer on the pod,
hell yeah.
Wanted to say that I could walk to where he committed suicide in like 10 minutes and didn't want to name where I live.
Worst stunt ever.
Yeah, it's like a timer, like fucking supermarket sweep.
Yeah.
It goes to, hits a fucking thing, and it's just counting down from 10, and he's just sprinting over there.
I used to live walking distance to the Golden Gate Bridge. That's like 4,000 suicides.
Yeah, I know.
So
you know what's funny?
You lose.
He said he didn't want to name where he lived on the server on the Discord, which is a good thing about. I guess good thing to say about our fans is that they don't want to tell each other where they live.
Oh, Ramsey and I's pod. Oh, every email starts with, please don't say my name.
Yeah, some of them. There's another one a guy sent in that said, please do say his name because he craves fame. He also called me the new guy. He didn't want to. Also, it says his wife got like $3 million apparently because he technically died in office.
Well, that was the whole reason why he killed himself. That was 100% the reason.
To give his wife money?
Yeah, to get.
Because he was about to. He got caught up like.
Yeah, he was about to go to jail.
Rob Blagojevich style.
He was going to lose his pension and he was going to lose everything. But he had a life insurance policy or something. There was some reason he killed himself in order to save money for his family. That's the only reason he did it.
Wow, dude, what a self. Kevin, hey, Kevin, you ever thought about doing that?
I'm like you really got the gears turning.
Yeah. Like, did you say $3 million?
Yeah. He kills all three of them.
Yeah.
Thinking he's going to get $3 million.
Oh, holy shit.
Oh, fuck, I did it wrong.
Oh, damn. God. You can't never do anything right.
Damn dyslexia.
All right, you think, let's say you're on death row and they're about to execute you. I've read a lot about last meals. Mm-hmm. Don't you dare say it. And because there's a whole website that lists people's last meals, and you could go through and read them what people wanted. But do you think that you could have them like be like, if you were like, I just want one long night alone with the Big Buck Hunter? Do you think they'd bring you in a Big Buck Hunter?
Nope.
Damn it.
I know. I'm sorry.
No way.
I thought you were going to say you wanted one long night alone with a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
because they might do that.
If I was your buddy who got me too'd out of his fucking folk rock band or whatever the fuck, and he's like, there's a specific couch in Oakland. Can you please fly her in? I miss her. Yeah. He starts writing letters to your house. He's like, please put this in the couch.
He's got Bic pen drawings of the couch on his wall. You know those prison drawings.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Vokey knows about that drawing that dude gave to you that was in prison, right?
Oh no, I don't know. He gave it to a buddy of mine. I talked about in the last episode because we were talking about how if you ride the Greyhound through the Central Valley, you're always picking up prisoners.
Well, we talked about that because that happens also in San Jose. And I remember I was on a Greyhound bus, and because they used to have a scam for free Greyhound buses, tickets. But
oh, really?
Yeah, my friend had a corporate account number for them, and then you just charge it to that account number or whatever. I don't fully remember.
Dude,
$11 back into my pocket.
Dude, Greyhound's surprisingly expensive.
You know what's we're not sponsored, but the Flix bus is cheaper.
When Flix started, that was a game changer.
Dude, I saw a guy in a wheelchair one time. You know, somebody on the bus in the wheelchair where they strap them in like they're a old washer. And
yeah.
It was this guy was in the back of the Flix bus. And I remember I was on my way back to LA and I was running late. I had a spot and the weather was bad and it was a whole thing. And they stop in Burbank and then drop off somewhere else. And fucking bus driver took a hard left and a suitcase fell out and fucking smacked the shit out of this guy that was in the wheelchair. And he was like, stop this motherfucking bus.
Oh, man.
You stupid motherfucker. You fucking driving like a moron.
Wait, was he on the bike rack? Where was he? Wait, I missed this.
No, he was in the yeah. He's getting hit with bugs on the front of the bus. He's like, God damn it.
Y'all people are crazy.
Yeah. But he was in the back of the bus where there's like a spot where they take out two seats to strap in the homeless.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And the fucking wheelchair the suitcase fell off and smacked him in the fucking head. And he went fucking ape shit on the driver.
Isn't that how the OxyClean guy died?
No, Billy Mays died from Bob Saget style. He smacked his fucking head on an airplane. Nothing fell on him. I think it was a hard landing, and he smacked his head. As far as I know, I don't fucking know.
I actually went on the Wikipedia page, and that's not true.
It's not? What happened?
According to the Wikipedia page.
I know he had a fucking...
That was like a myth.
He had a bunch of shit in his system. He had all kinds of OxyClean and OxyContin and fucking cocaine. Yeah, he was snorting Oxy.
The bubbles get you higher!
Yeah, he starts floating up like Grandpa Joe and Charlie.
Yeah, exactly.
We got a burp!
Yeah, dude. That guy that you were telling me about, what was his deal? I can't remember.
What guy?
Which guy?
Well, I just brought that up. This is great podcast.
Oh, sorry, the Greyhound
the prison drawing.
I got onto the guy who was strapped down.
It's talking about the pen drawing.
Yeah. So my friend Brad, who lived with me in Santa Barbara, was coming back from Bakersfield to Santa Barbara on the Greyhound, and picked up some prisoners. And a guy asked him to use his phone, and he said yes, and he let the guy use his phone. And then the guy gave his phone back, but as a thank you to him, gave him a very detailed pencil drawing of a beautiful
naked chick,
beautiful Latina woman. She was
she a big booty Latina?
She was super thick, and she had a shirt on with big time cleavage, and she was bent down like a catcher, fucking like she was Yvonne Rodriguez or something.
Cleavage,
and on we hit the big time cleavage button. Here, dude, this is actually good for this.
No, these are all new.
Oh,
it's a new soundboard.
Oh, bro,
I know.
Damn it, dude. There's one sound drop that goes.
Yeah, I know. But we'll get him back.
We'll get him back. But then the pencil drawing was of a woman bent down like Yvonne Rodriguez, and she had a massive puddle underneath her of piss.
Wow.
And so that was his thank you.
Yeah.
And my friend Brad
what a sweet guy.
Yeah, my friend Brad was like, dude,
yeah, very kind.
Sick, thank you. Like we had it hanging in our apartment for a long time.
Dude, when those prison guys get on the Greyhound bus, they're all dressed like the older brother in Goonies. You know, they're all wearing like crop top sweatshirts and like sweatpants. They all look like weightlifters from the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all, and they all have black trash bags.
I told Bruce last week that because I took my my wife on a trip to Vegas, and we're so cheap. Like both of us were like, let's do this, and then we ended up being on this bus with these inmates that just got released, and we're driving past a dead field, and I remember a guy looking out the window going, "Man, it's just fucking beautiful, man. It's beautiful." Like, it just like, it was so sad, but we were also like just like scared, like at the same time, just like, this is uncomfortable, you know.
Well, remember that guy got his head sawed off on a Greyhound in Canada?
Yeah.
Somebody was decapitated on a Greyhound.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Yep.
I thought you were gonna say one of my friends.
Yeah, no.
One of your bus
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I don't hang out with murderers. I don't know. Well, yes, I do.
Oh,
damn. You're right.
I know a few.
I had a murderer in here yesterday.
Wait, what?
Well, that's a rude way of saying it. I'm not going to go any further. But the man had some issues with the law.
Okay.
The man had some issues with life and death, and which side of it he wanted to be on.
Yeah. Let's just say a business deal went awry.
He was an executive at Enron.
Well, I run a podcast studio, and you know the podcast world is a sketchy world.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did everybody from Enron go to jail?
Some of them went to Playboy. I have it on my wall.
That was after that.
The ladies of Enron. That was after. Yeah, nobody wanted to see ladies of Enron before the scandal.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think the ladies of Hewlett Packard would sell that well. You know,
the ladies of Enron are mega babes.
Well, they had some work done, after. But no, all the top people went to jail. Some of them one of them killed himself, I think, before he could go to jail.
Yeah.
You killing?
Are
you two killing yourself before you can go to jail?
No, I'm fine with jail.
Okay. Have you? You've only
jail seems
been
great.
In jail overnight here and there, right?
Yeah. I did 4 nights.
Yeah,
but I've never
combined in a row.
I've never been to prison.
Yeah, of course.
I've been to a jail.
No shit.
Yeah.
What was your 4 nights for?
What'd you do 4 nights for?
I kept getting caught on a Thursday, you know, and so you don't get to see a judge till Monday.
There's just something about Thursdays, pal. I don't know what it is.
Going up on
Thirsty
Thursday.
Thursdays, man.
You kept getting caught on Thursday. Caught what?
Shoplifting, setting a Bible on fire in a hotel.
Always Thursday.
What were you shopping?
Playing a punk show that we had our friend invited us to play his birthday party. It turns out the whole thing was illegal. He was squatting the property, and I got arrested because I had whiskey on my amp. I had no idea we were in an illegal party thing. I had whiskey on my amp, and there was underage people there, so they tried to charge me with distributing alcohol to minors. It didn't. I've never been convicted of anything.
I
never distributed nothing to no minor. Recording stopped?
Yeah.
On your end? Oh, the camera is off.
Yeah, it said it hit space.
It's not counting up though, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It looks back to where it was.
I'm using the GH3. I'm not the biggest fan of this camera.
Is that some 2959 shit?
What does that mean?
Like it stops at 2959?
No, it's a Lumix.
Yeah, so it's weird.
It should roll right through.
We're back. We're good. We're heating it up. And where? That's all in Oakland?
No. I never got arrested in Oakland. Only detained.
So you got arrested because you had whiskey on your amp?
Well, I got arrested for trespassing and alcohol. Yeah, they were just scooping people up.
Was that the OhSnapDotCom?
Yes, that was OhSnapDotCom.
Will you talk about the OhSnap.com guy?
So the guy who arrested me, he looked like Hank from Breaking Bad. He was like a shaved head guy, but he was a...
Oh, yeah.
It was in this town in South Carolina, Greenwood, South Carolina, and it was such a small town. They heard there was a rave or a drug party. They used all these weird terms. That was like not that at all. It was a birthday party.
There's a freak out going on down the street.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're using Charlie Manson terms.
Yeah. What do they call those LSD parties back in the day? The electric Kool-Aid or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. You got you boys having a love-in in here.
Yes, so that guy, he was plainclothes, and the cops were there. We like regular cops in uniforms were there, so everybody was scattering. And this guy had a flashlight in my face, and I was like, and he was wearing a Hawaiian shirt. A
Hawaiian shirt is the ultimate undercover cop.
Yeah.
Like that's what a cop thinks is normal.
Yeah.
They're undercover is a Hawaiian shirt
where everybody else has mohawks and shit.
Of course, we will be undercover boys, and wink, wink. Yes, it will be Hawaiian.
Yeah, he's wearing a full.
You know what they can't see. I call it urban camouflage. You'll never see us, boys.
Key West camouflage.
Yeah, he's wearing a full tuxedo.
Yeah. So he had his flashlight in my face, and I was looking for my keys because I had just dropped them, and it was outside, and it was dark. And
were you trying to bail?
I was trying to bail.
Were you going to leave your equipment?
Oh yeah.
I was borrowing. My friend had a whole back line set up, and all I had was my guitar. So
you were just going to grab the bass and go?
I already had it. I was guitar. I wasn't bass in that band. Right?
Sorry.
I only played bass in one band ever.
I just know you as a bass player.
I know. That's how the whole world knows me. That's why I got so frustrated.
That's why I left the biz.
Yeah, nobody wants to be Shemp. You know what I mean? But so the cop had a flashlight in my face, and I was like, "Can you get your fucking flashlight out of my face? I'm looking for my keys. The pigs are here." And then I noticed a dangling badge, and he put me up against a cop car, and he was like, "Do you live here?" And I was like, "No, I'm just staying here tonight for a party, for my friend's party." And he goes, "So you're staying here?" And I was like, "Just tonight. I live in Athens, Georgia." And he goes, "So you live here?" And I was like, "No, I don't live here." And I don't know what he was doing. And he goes, "OhSnap.com, you just lied to a police officer." He was like, he had an effeminate Southern accent. Like David Cross has talked about it. Like it doesn't, it's just an accent down there. It has no bearing on what you fuck.
Yeah.
So like, and he kept saying OhSnap.com. So we were in the back of his car, and Metallica came on, and it was their cover of Whiskey in a Jar or whatever, that Thin Lizzy cover. And so I just started singing it in the back of the cop car. And he goes, "OhSnap.com, you ain't about to have a good time in the back of my car." And then
love that website.
We should definitely buy the rights to OhSnap.com.
Well, apparently back in the day, I was telling that story at Flappers, and somebody pulled it up, and it was a porn site.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, OhSnap.com was a porn site, but not anymore.
Yeah.
It's dudes
Snap.com.
It's dudes in
Let me tell
Ohio.
you something, boy. You ain't going to be in the back of this car thinking about no whiskey and no jar.
Because you already in big trouble for some whiskey, so I'll tell you that now. OhSnap.com is about dudes in Ohio snapping their boner. It's tales from the crypt.
I was 1 year out of the military. So I showed him my military ID card, and I was like, I'm a veteran and whatever. He goes, "OhSnap.com, you think that's a get out of jail card free? Get out of free, whatever, what I say.
Get out of jail free card."
I can't even talk right now. So, but then
you think you about to get a large fries for no cause?
Dude, that night I got punched in the face by the cop who was processing me. He was doing all my fingerprints, and he goes, "This doesn't feel good, does it?" And he goes, I can't remember what he said, but as he's doing that, and he's telling me it doesn't feel good, I go, "Well, I'm the one who's going to get out tomorrow. You're going to be working here for 30 years. You're doing the life sentence." And he punched me right in the fucking face.
Because you talk to him like the Joker.
Yeah. And then, they put me in the cell, and that one was a tough one. That one followed me around for a minute.
But didn't you have another run-in with the... Because was this the one where you represented yourself in court?
Yes. Me and my friend Dave, who has since passed away, we represented ourselves in court. But what was funny was we didn't, like, Dave cross-examined, he asked questions to the cop, and everybody was just rolling their eyes at us. I had a mohawk at the time, so I cut the top of my mohawk off to have a mullet. And because I wanted to look like a local. So I put on a striped shirt, and I tucked it into my jeans, and I had a big belt buckle on. I'll just say a Southern belt buckle. Put it that way. Times were different.
It was a different time.
I was trying to blend in.
I was a big buck hunter champion with a very large belt buckle and a mullet.
But the judge, I swear to God, because they charged me with distributing alcohol to minors and all this other shit that just wasn't relevant. And the judge was listening to everything, and she goes, "It sounds like to me you guys came to a party to play a show and you had no idea what you were going into. And I think these charges are a little trumped up and overboard." She goes, "So I'm going to dismiss this." But she goes, "I want you two to know this had nothing to do with your little display you put on in here." She goes, "These charges, it was just too much." And so we get out of the court, and as we get out of the court, I do a cartwheel because I was so stoked. And the two cops who arrested me, the OhSnap.com and his partner, were there. And he goes, "If I see you in this town one more time, I swear to God, it ain't going to go down the same way." And yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, I never.
So you did a cartwheel directly in front of it?
I didn't know he was there. I kind of popped up on the cartwheel and was looking at these two cops.
You're just face to face. He's like, this ain't never gonna happen.
Oh, Snap.com. He thinks he could do gymnastics in the front of my courthouse?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. If I
Man, I always hear various like chunks of your life. Like, but I don't think I've ever gotten like I've never seen like a proper interview of your life. Like when did you start? When did you first realize that you hated cops?
Well, I was raised by a family of multi-generational narcissists who have issues with authority because they feel like they are the authority. So it's in my DNA. So it predates me, brother.
Yeah.
I was hating pigs in the womb.
Yeah, all the shit that causes us the most trouble seems to be our parents' genetics following us.
Yeah.
Where were you born?
I was born in Maine Medical Center in Portland, Maine.
Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
And then you moved to Florida after that?
No, I moved to Georgia in 8th grade.
8th grade. Okay.
Yeah.
And is that when you started playing music? Like, because Brian has been in like in what I would describe as 1,000 punk bands and always has a bunch of great stories about playing music and stuff. But I never like, but it would also be like, oh, here's some random obscure band. You're like, oh yeah, fuck that guy's sister. Or like, it'll be always like, oh yeah, that guy,
I don't kiss and tell. So I would have never said that.
Oh, it's Def Leppard. I cut off that drummer's arm.
Yeah. So when did the music thing started, and when did it start getting bigger?
I started playing guitar in 7th grade in Maine, 6th or 7th grade. I remember it was the first time I ever cursed in front of my father. I was trying to get an electric guitar, and I only had an acoustic guitar, and I was like, I need an electric guitar. All I can play is lesbian shit on this. And my dad was holding his laughter, and he goes, get upstairs. He was laughing so hard.
You're just playing guitar, and you're just playing guitar. Like, 25 years,
yeah, just Lilith Fair stuff.
Yeah, it's all you could play.
You get a fast car.
You get a fucking fast car. You're just like begrudgingly playing acoustic guitar.
But yeah, no, my first band was when I was 15 years old, but I didn't play an instrument. I sang in it. That was Incestuous Necrophilia, who turned their name to Litany after that.
Incestuous Necrophilia, for Brian's first band.
Yeah, we were a blackened death metal.
Hell yeah. Do you remember any of the song titles?
Yeah, Bag of Blood.
That's good.
Bag of blood. All that remains is a bag of blood.
Is that the song?
It was about a serial killer where they couldn't find. He drained the bodies, and he would just leave bags of blood, but they could never find the rest of the body parts.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake
It's a good song.
Biggest mistake your dad ever made was getting you an electric guitar. Does he know that? Did he should have just made you play the acoustic? If you would have kept it the acoustic, you might be playing some cool country music or something.
I know, for real.
Instead, you're doing Bag of Blood.
What's up? We're Incestuous Necrophilia. This song's called Bag of Blood. It's actually about a serial killer priest.
Yeah. But then it's you yodeling over a banjo.
Bag of blood,
bag of blood, my boy. Yeah. He got a bag of blood.
It's about your grandma. It's about your grandma's dialysis.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first band's name was Acupuncture for Trees, so it wasn't quite as cool, but it was.
That sounds like
I don't know what.
That sounds like guys who are very good at their instrument.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was.
Yeah, was it like just, prog rocky time changes and stuff?
Not. I mean, it was more blues rock, but there was definitely time changes and stuff, and we were trying to be fancy. Yeah, but we never went anywhere with it. So did Incestuous Necrophilia? Did that one?
Yeah.
So did
Charlie Rose?
No, Incestuous Necrophilia. Now, did they go anywhere with this ride, or
no,
do you have to wait?
What happened was all the clubs were pay to play. down there. And because we were in high school, we had a ton of friends, and we were all in different high schools. So people would come out to see us. So we ended up playing like tons of shows at the Masquerade, which is still there today. So we opened for a bunch of bands that we shouldn't have been opening for, but because it was just like it was basically a bringer show. We brought all our friends up. We would sell tickets in high school. Like we'd go to the cafeteria. Sell tickets to people. So we played a lot of shows at Mastodon, who are still around and very popular. We played that show with Eve 6 that I do that bit about.
Brian got.
We covered their only song.
Yeah.
They were a one-hit wonder. We played their one hit right before they came on.
Was it?
You were their opener?
Yeah. We played I Will Swallow My Pride just to be a dick.
You guys did it to be assholes, or were you like...
we were just trolling.
Or were you
them.
like, they'll like this?
No, we were trolling.
Yeah, and that's where didn't the guy choke you out?
No, he didn't really choke me out. He pushed me up against a wall, and
I wouldn't say he choked me out,
but he literally said to me, "You don't
Eve
think this
6 guys?"
Yeah, the Eve 6 singer was like, "You don't think this happens to us every night?" Because
like,
apparently, shitty bands were like opening for him, like ours, and just being dicks. But I did that. Remember that Cal Jam festival that the Foo Fighters threw? I did that bit because I did stand up at that thing, and the guitar player for Eve 6 saw that, and he loved it. And he said he immediately texted the singer, and he wanted me to do stand up at their 20th anniversary show at the Region, but they never followed up with me. But he was so juiced on, because he was like, he was a little fucked up back then. I don't think this guitar player was in the band back then.
Yeah, but now they're they're Twitter trolls.
Yeah, they're popular on Twitter.
That's so weird. Now they're like playing shows again.
I think they're like socialist tweeters.
We got a couple of socialist tweeters down here at the thing. Get these damn socialist tweeters out of my town. All I can think about is that OhSnapDotCom guy being like, hey, dude, I don't want to see you in this town. If I even see your name on the big buck hunter at the bowling alley, you are fucked. You are in big trouble, man. I'm telling you what.
Snap.com.
We got ourselves some socialist tweeters down here. She's in the striped shirt doing cartwheels. One of them socialist tweeters for sure.
And then I would have popped up from the cartwheel and been like, I'm an anarcho tweeter.
Yeah.
But you
okay, so you're opening for Eve 6, you're opening for these bigger bands. This is still in high school?
Yeah.
And then when did that band last through college or college?
I went
years?
to the Army. I didn't go to college.
Right. So there was no music in the Army.
No.
And that was for how long?
2 years, 9 months.
In the Army?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. What did you eventually got kicked, asked to go home? I won't say kicked out.
We mutually decided that it wasn't working out.
It was a mutual decision.
Yeah,
Were you officially kicked out for pretending to be gay?
No.
You attempted to pretend to be gay.
Yeah, I left gay porn open during a room inspection. Me and my friend Andy Sipe, Specialist Sipe, went to a porn shop.
Did he also want to get kicked out, or he was just your friend?
He hated it, but he wasn't trying to get kicked out.
Yeah,
but he hated it. We were besties down there at Fort Gordon.
What was it? I remember I've heard all of this before, but it is all very fuzzy in my head. It was Australian gay porn. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, it was called. It was called
Good Day.
SS.
Gay Day. It was called Australian Bellboy or something, I think it was called.
Have you tried to find the magazine?
Well, the magazine wasn't specifically Australian. The cover guy on the cover was Australian. So, but
I get you big.
The centerfold was him laying on his belly, and his cock was hard, but it was coming out the back. I said it kind of like the way I would describe it is like how when they refuel Air Force One, it looked like the thing was coming out the back. Because there was a guy backing into his.
Oh, so it was like a.
But they weren't. It was just like he was grinding on his cock.
Yeah, I call that the parallel park.
Yeah.
It's funny because man, that's how you.
You call it the fruit basket.
Yeah.
Dude, when
it's funny because
you
the
got
freight
the banana
train
popping out of the back.
That's how I know I don't have a big dick, is because I've never thought about fucking somebody from my back. You know what I'm saying? I've never thought about putting it all underneath and
ass to ass.
Yeah, I've never even considered that.
That's the dream.
But
that really is the dream.
First Sergeant Zabernack was my first sergeant's name. He didn't care. He just made me do push-ups. He kicked me in the ribs while I was doing push-ups. When he found that. So eventually it was just all the shit I was doing led to a personality disorder discharge.
Yeah.
But it was
so
an
then you
honorable
get
discharge.
out and then
Immediately into bands.
Well, that's what I've said.
I'm not surprised.
I've said that a million times about Bryan.
Be honorable.
Where he'll talk about the Army and be like, it's fucking bullshit, fuck those guys, fuck this, fuck that. And then every time I've ever been in an airport with Bryan, as soon as they say, and now we'd like to welcome all of our veterans and active duty military, he's like, I'll see ya. Bryan is always on the plane very first before anybody else.
Draped in an American flag.
Yeah.
Like, I love this country.
I gave 33 of my months of my life to this fucking country. You know what I
mean? Some old guy. Did you say months?
But, I mean, I bought into it though in the beginning. Like I was brainwashed for a minute.
This is post 9/11.
Oh, you would have to be.
Yeah, it is post 9. How old do you think I am?
I'm
of course,
I'm
it's post 9/11.
I'm adding to the.
Yeah, but 9/11.
We're talking about Korean War here, right?
No, I came home for Christmas in between, like from you go to boot camp, then you go to AIT. AIT is so boot camp is your training on how to be a soldier. AIT is your specific training to what your job will be in the military. And so in between boot camp and AIT, I went home for Christmas and I was doing formations and I was like showing everybody everything I learned. I got promoted in boot camp. Like I was like really into it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like a few things I don't feel like going into, just some problems at home that I was trying to get home for that they wouldn't let me go home for that. And then I was like, oh, fuck you guys. And then it was on. But it was like, there's like I really appreciate that because there's an arrogance to a young kid who thinks that their individual situation is important, and the military is like, dude, like shit happens to everybody all the time. We still need to have a fucking army. It was kind of what they were telling me. But in my mind, I'm like, but things are going on in my life. Let me go home. And I was pissed. It took me like 15 years to realize how fucking egotistical I was being, even though it doesn't matter how bad the tragedy is at home. Like, everybody has shit going on. But if you asked me 3 years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, fuck them. They screwed me.
I never had a shot.
Yeah.
I could have been a contender.
Yeah.
Well, what changed in the last 3 years?
You just get perspective and you realize, you're like, of course they didn't let me go. Of course, because something was happening at home. Like, what do you think the world just fucking bends to you, you freak? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't, it's not, because when it's your first, like, really big shit you're going home, really big tragedy that you're dealing with, you think it matters. But it doesn't fucking matter in the big picture to anybody else,
Sure.
But I did attack
so you
colonel.
go,
see, I've attacked the colonel a few times in my day, too. Mr. Sanders. Fancy seeing
so
you
go.
again.
So when did the music stuff start happening again?
Right away.
Yeah. You just got the boys back together?
Yeah,
Same
actually,
guys?
ironically, I started an acoustic band.
Wow.
Right when I got out of the military, called Goodness
Bunch
Gracious.
of lesbo rock.
Yeah,
We
lesbo.
were bad.
It was lesbo rock.
Yeah.
What was the song? Do you have any song titles off the top of your head?
No, I don't remember that band. And then I started Society of Probable Monsters after that.
Okay.
And then after that was Bold Slug, which was my first band that I will defend.
Bold Slug.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they were good.
And then where does Neon Piss?
What kind of music is that one?
If I use the word pop punk, a lot of people are going to misinterpret what I mean by that.
Yeah.
There's I don't want to. If I try to describe what I sound like, it'll be just a nerdy genre. I don't want to fucking go down there.
Where does Neon Piss come along?
Neon Piss is Oakland. All these bands were Georgia.
Okay.
So when I got out of the military, I went to Atlanta and Athens, and then when I was 23, I moved to Oakland on a phone call. My friend Laura was like, I'm going to go to Oakland. I was like, I'll go with you. And I just left and went to Oakland.
Dude, I love that so much.
And then,
honestly, a lot of the shit, whenever you start talking about this stuff, a lot of this is right out of the...
like a Woody Guthrie
album. Well, Woody Guthrie album, but also that book Chaos about Charles Manson. Where it's like, yeah, Manson, I moved down to Oakland on a phone call. Had a friend of mine who said, I'm going to Oakland. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with you. And I was in the Army, and I attacked the colonel, and he couldn't do nothing with me, and I needed to get home, and he wouldn't let me get home.
The difference between me and Manson, besides the murdering, is that I'm not a leader.
Yeah.
I've never led. Yeah. I've never been a leader.
That Manson music, it wasn't that...
You could start a cult.
I don't think I could. I don't have the charisma for a leader.
It wasn't that.
Yeah, maybe. We could maybe as a team though. Maybe I could be the face of the cult,
like a truly like a non-hierarchical cult.
Yeah, socialist cult.
Yeah. Like Brian's not real good at talking, but he's the leader. You know,
he's a logistics brother.
Neon Pit, Manson's music. It wasn't that it was terrible. It's that it was old fashioned at the time. He was always 10 years behind in whatever because he was in jail. So whenever he was in the 60s and they were playing all that different kind of music, all of his music was still fucking sounding like it was from the 50s, and everybody was like, "That shit's whack, man."
Yeah.
Like, was it like Greenwich Village folk? Is that what he was doing?
I would say it's like Pick Up Your Game Girl and shit like that. Like that's.
I never liked his music.
Well, I'm saying it wasn't that like it's not good, but it's not terrible for the time. It's not terrible. It's just that style of music had already gone out of fashion. He never moved on into the next thing because he was in fucking jail his entire life. So that's why he talks that way too. Whenever he gets out of jail, he's been in jail his entire life. I don't remember exactly how old he was whenever he got out of jail for the first but he was in jail from the time he was like 9 years old till he was like 20 something.
Yeah.
So it's just his entire life is spent in there, and so he's not getting anything from the outside.
Yeah. Dude, I watch a lot.
That book, by the way, Chaos is so good.
Oh, it's great.
That's the best one?
Absolutely.
Really
I got to read that one. Yeah. Because all I know about him is what I've watched.
Well, that's the one it's talking about how kind of full of shit the entire thing was. And
because I heard the other book, the one named after the Beatles song.
Yeah, that one's written by Vince
Helter Skelter.
Helter Skelter. I heard that one sucked dick.
That one has a lot of information, but it's written by the prosecutor. What are we breaking up on here?
I don't know. I'm hearing
clicks. Is that just Kevin's computer audio? Because he's not going into the compuder with that.
I don't know.
But those clicks are definitely popping here, so it's going to be in our audio. Well, let's stop.
I think that's on your side.
I'm not touching.
I don't know what that was, but it stopped.
Don't touch anything here, I guess. But so Vince Bill, I can't remember how to say his last name, but that's what Chaos is all kind of putting it on how he was kind of full of shit and how I don't know. It's a very. I don't want to put up too much, but it's
all you have to do is trace Manson's whereabouts and like you see where he goes and where the big one to me was
that San Francisco stuff.
His probation officer was literally. They transferred from where he was to the probation officer in San Francisco. They did that. The government did that. Manson didn't do that.
Yeah.
And the place that he went to in San Francisco was this huge LSD testing facility.
It's all MK Ultra shit in that.
I heard that on the Rogan.
They did specific tests with the LSD and then giving him speed afterwards. And the mice that they did the experiments on would go like ballistic.
Yeah.
And then the Manson murders ended up being on LSD and speed, just like in the experiment.
Even
very interesting.
Even when they put the DDR moves next to him in his court freak out. Yeah. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen on the internet.
Good.
It's like him dancing on the internet with the DDR.
It's like the arrows next to it. Where does Neon Piss? Is Neon Piss the only band that was like, I would say, for lack of a better word, worked out?
No. The New Flesh worked out too. We were both on this. We were on the same label as Neon Piss, Deranged Records, which is a decent label from Canada. But Neon Piss started in 2010, I think. We recorded our demo in Neil Young's model train recording studio. Like you know he's super into model trains.
Way.
Yeah, Neil Young has like a ton of patents on model train sounds because his kid's like autistic or something and is really into model trains. So he like went full into it. So we were recording the studio that's got all these great mics because it was all like they would send out field recorders to go to like train yards to record different train sounds and
so
shit.
Funny. That's why if you listen to Neon Piss every now and then it'll be like in the background because every hour on the hour there's a cuckoo clock that's a train that goes off. It's a train sound. Sometimes there's 12 of them, sometimes there's 2 of them. Just depends on what time it was that time.
It is crazy how nice everything was in that studio and how bad that demo sounds. It sounds like shit. But this guy who ran a popular punk blog, we gave him our demo and he blew us up in Europe because he was like, this is amazing. And he had a lot more pull in Europe. So we got a European tour started, like the booking started when we only had 4 songs.
Oh, fuck it.
We had a 4-song demo or a 5-song demo out. Wow. And they were like, guys going to come to Europe. And by the way, Europe expects you to play for an hour, you know, because like punk shows don't last that long for sets. And we were like, yikes. But that band, we knew like a billion covers. We were like Charlie Crockett. Dude. We could play anything.
Yeah. You're up there like, and this is a slow jam.
Yeah.
You're gonna pass. Just like an acoustic part. The encore is Brian playing Tracy Chapman on acoustic.
Well, dude, the lucky thing about that is I'd played bass in that band, and the other guys were all very talented. So they could just, I was like always nervous I was going to be exposed because I was not nearly as good a musician as those dudes. But luckily I just played bass, so I could just, if you gave me the key, I would just play, you know, I'd play in rhythm and in key.
Yeah.
just gotta keep up.
Were you an active bass player?
Yeah.
Or did you look like that dead guy we saw playing bass?
No, I was very active.
I don't remember if that was in the opening band whenever we had gone to that show. But that bass player legitimately looked fucking dead.
The only thing that was moving was his index finger.
Yeah. He had a real slow poke Rodriguez vibe too.
Yeah, just a hat. All you see is a hat and a mustache.
Hat, mustache, really long hair, and he was just like
Doom,
it was super fucking funny.
He was walking it, baby.
Yeah,
walking it good. Walking in his death.
Yeah.
So wait, no. So the Neon Piss going like basically doing the European tour was that. What would you say was like the height of the music? And then I also want to know why you stopped.
Well, nobody wants to see a balding, chubby, 35-year-old punk musician. I mean, that's for the youth, baby.
We just stopped recording, by the way, again.
Cocksucker. This is
I know.
Issue.
I think it's an hour.
I think
it's stopping at half hour.
Yeah, it's probably.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know why, but it's probably like an MP4 versus movie file or something.
Yeah.
But I don't want to fuck with that.
Brian, could you give me another take of that? Nobody wants to see.
Do you want the real answer why I stopped?
Yes, of course.
The real answer is that the punk world got a little suffocating for me in a sense that it's kind of like how the culture is now, where you have to be a perfect person all the time, and you have to be the most activist-y activist. You have to be the most radical. And
that's what Vokey was telling me, is that kind of the way that other stuff has become is that punk was like kind of 10 years ahead of all that shit.
For sure. And it's past now. Now I'm confused again.
Yeah.
I had my finger on the pulse for a while. I knew what everybody was saying, but
now here's a 30-year-old, 7-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Like, who?
What the fuck's a neo pronoun?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But but the problem was with all this, like, you know, with all this phony grandstanding that I was doing, like trying to be the best person ever, I started like, I had no outlet. So I was being a real dick in my personal relationships. I was just being an asshole. I was just not a healthy person when it was one-on-one. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that I was just performing all the time and being phony. And so I just felt like it was destroying my brain. So then I started doing stand-up where I could be honest in public, and I could start to, not honest, you know what I mean, emotionally honest, just talking shit.
Yeah.
Not trying to be perfect.
Dude, I totally understand. I mean, I left my whole life behind for the first 30 years of my life.
It's like religion. It's just like, you get it. Yeah, it's just like religion.
Yeah.
Where like, you know, the best parishioner, I don't know how you say it, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. I would just probably say Christian. Yeah.
I just been member of the parish. The person.
Yeah, a parishioner. Yeah.
Yeah, that the best one is probably got the most
congregate.
secrets. Yeah, a congregate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Man, that sounds like I'm blaming
dead bodies in someone's grill.
It sounds like I'm blaming the culture of punk for being a dick, but I mean, it's not that. It's just, I don't know. I wasn't going down a healthy path. But yeah. I was treating people like shit, and it was just getting worse and worse. And stand-up honestly like changed everything for me. When I was a musician, I was worried I was going to be exposed as a phony. I didn't think I was a real musician. When I was on stage, I never felt like people were going to find out it wasn't funny because it's right there.
Yeah.
They're laughing at it. You're exposed immediately.
Yeah.
So there's no waiting to be exposed. I was honest. I was being like a dick for fun. People were laughing at my asshole energy, and then I could go home and it was out of me, and I could be nice. And now my personal relationships are a lot better than my professional relationships.
Well, I think that goes for most of us here.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a trip, man.
I was just a drunk, dude. I was pissed off, and I was a drunk. And when you're on tour, you can be drunk every night. There's no reason to not be drunk, you know?
Yeah.
And, and so when I come home, I would shake from, like, drinking. And
whenever me and Vokey first started hanging out, it was...
I was a drinker.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
It was a PBR tall can.
All the time.
Constant.
Yeah.
And you were blasting cigs.
Ciggies.
Which ones were they?
I smoked Marlboro Reds, the 72s.
Yes. I remember it was a white box.
Yeah.
Kevin, have you ever heard the story of how me and Vokey became friends?
No.
Literally, the way me and Bryan became friends, it was early, I would say early 2016, because it was right whenever I'd moved to LA.
I moved November of 15.
Yeah, so I think we pretty much, neither of us really knew that many people. We weren't talking, we were sitting in the hallway of Flappers Comedy Club, and we weren't talking to each other, we weren't talking to anybody. We were just sitting there, and then, or maybe we had seen each other around, I was just like, what's up, and then we're sitting there not saying anything. And we're outside of this open mic. We're right through the door to, I remember where I was sitting. I was to Vokey's left, was right by the door. I was directly across. And this guy walked past, and he looked in the room, and then he's like, what's going on in here? And Vokey was like, oh, it's an open mic. And the guy goes, oh, fucking awesome. And then he walked in. And then he walked inside, and it was truly not even 2 seconds later. We both looked at each other and went, ugh, ugh. Yeah.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yeah.
And then he walked inside, and literally as soon as he walked inside, we looked at each other. We're like, ugh.
Yeah.
And both like rolled our eyes at that guy.
That is the perfect situation.
Yeah, and then we
being annoyed by somebody liking comedy at Flappers.
Yeah. So then we put out our hands and we shook hands.
Yeah. Put it there, partner.
Started raining and lightning went off. And
dude, when I first moved to LA, that Flappers open mic would give you a pizza if you had the best set of the night.
Oh, I was
broke, dude. I started to rely on those pizzas. I remember they cut me off.
Like, I got cut off eventually.
They cut Christian Piper off too. All three of us.
Well, that's why we started hanging out with Christians. I think we all got cut off.
We're all getting pie of the weekend or pie of the night or whatever.
I had a few stacked up because I was like, I don't want to use it right now. Like because whenever I had first moved there, I was working at that fucking Vietnamese restaurant. I was working at 9021 Pho. In the Glendale Galleria, which I eventually got fired from for getting 2 bad Yelp reviews in one day.
So it wasn't even in the 90210 area.
Not at all. No, it was in the Glendale Galleria. Dude, and I would go down, I would go down the escalator every day, and I would go past this fucking Scientology kiosk, and every day I would get into it with this guy, because every day he'd be like, hey, come on, what about today? And I was like, dude, stop fucking talking to me, or I'm going to fucking snap on you. And then he would do it every day, be like, today? And then like some days I'd be in a better mood and be like, you almost got me, whatever. I was living at the fucking extended stay Days Inn in Glendale, working at 9021 Pho, and I was like, good God.
Dark,
dude.
Yeah, that hotel was sick, though.
Oh, it's a dark
That bar.
Yeah. Oh, that bar, truly, at the time, best bar in LA.
Oh, I would drink like 40 beers.
And it would be like $3. Cheapest bar. Cheapest bar in the world. It was dark. There was a grand piano.
I remember I did a set on mushrooms.
And Joseph P. Larkin was doing an open mic there.
No, I started the open mic there.
They started it together.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. JPL and
I remember that,
Bruce.
Yeah. It was a fun mic.
I never saw. I don't think I ever went when you hosted, but I remember him hosting.
Well, they would like switch off. JPL would always have his voice change.
Yeah, the sound like a demon thing. Yeah. It was a dark place. It was a fun time, but it was a dark place. But that was where fucking literally where Gaylord Dingler came back into the picture. I swear, it was so weird because Gaylord Dingler, long story short, Gaylord Dingler, long story short, was like a legendary potluck comedian at the Comedy Store. This old weird. How would you even describe the way he looks?
He looked like an old sea captain.
Yeah, and he was. He pretty much had no like.
He looked like the pirate booty logo.
Yeah, pretty much had no like he was kind of like incoherent most of the time. But he would get up on stage and he would tell these jokes, and he was like, I know I been going down to the Elvis workout center or something. He's like, and I had my girlfriend went down there with me, and that place is so good. She lost 45 pounds in one day, and you know how she did it? The machine ripped her leg off. The machine ripped your leg off. The machine ripped your leg off.
By the way, a 45-pound leg is a big
I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember
he's a big gal.
I remember I was like, this guy's so odd and so interesting. I wonder what his deal is. I remember I had smoked weed and I was at the Target at the Glendale Galleria because I would get a discount for working in the mall. So I would go to that Target and get whatever I needed. And I was in that Target and I was on my phone and I just Googled Gaylord Dingler. And all of this shit came up. There was a documentary that's how I met Todd Munson.
Yeah.
Todd Munson had made a documentary called like Looking for Gaylord or something because he had like somebody that was at the Comedy Store, not like he was past or anything, but he was there like
every Monday
for literally I think 20 years. Like I think because he came up with like Letterman, like it was around when like Letterman.
The Comedy Store owes him a pension at that point.
Yeah, he was there every Monday for I think literally 2 decades, and then he disappeared. And so Todd Munson had like made this whole documentary, and then I don't even know how, but these like 2 kids in like somewhere outside Detroit saw Gaylord outside of the a 7-Eleven, and he was like talking to them about how he was, he knows all these guys, whatever. And somehow they got in contact with Todd, and then Todd was like, that he was like, no way. And literally he was like, take a picture with today's paper and Gaylord Dingler. And they did and sent it to Todd. So Todd, like with a camera crew, flew out to
like cartel style.
Yeah, literally. Like with a camera crew, flew out to Michigan and met up with Gaylord. But then he had moved back to LA with his brother, who was like this wacky lawyer guy. And like nobody had heard from him. And then so I got in touch with Todd. Literally, the first time I ever talked to Todd Munson, I was like, hey, dude, I was like, I know the whereabouts of Gaylord Dingler. And so then eventually with Todd helped, and then Jeff Dennis, Ryan O'Neal, and Rick Ingram all got it to where we got Gaylord to go back to the Comedy Store to do Potluck. And they had put him up on it.
Did he do Potluck or Friends and Family?
I think he did the very last set of Friends and Family. So it was like a completely packed OR, and he's on stage doing the machine ripped your leg off.
I once bought Sanka brand coffee over his Sanka coffee joke.
Oh, yeah, because he was talking about Sanka.
I never heard of that. Other than I heard it in a few country songs.
Yeah.
I think maybe in a Mississippi John Hurt song or something.
His jokes make zero sense, and they're all 100 years old.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. I think he's still alive. I think him and his brother moved to like Victorville or something.
They're wealthy, right?
They will all be there soon.
His brother has a decent amount of money, but Gaylord lived in the hotel. So he literally
you were kind of roommates.
I was roommates with Gaylord Dingler. So he literally, the only reason he came to that is because I think he saw a flyer in the elevator that was like comedy open mic, come out here, which I printed those flyers from the fucking because I was so broke whenever I moved here. I would use the computer in the lobby to do whatever I had to do.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Like for hours a night, I would just chill down there from like midnight till 3 a.m. on the lobby hotel computer.
Dude, I had a dark moment. One time I was sitting on that rock in front of there, smoking a cigarette, and I was taking an Uber to a show at not Hooters. What was that other? It was the 50s diner. Mel's. I was on my way to a show.
Nightmare.
In Mel's, and that's where I found out my friend died. And that was the one where I was crying in the Uber, and the guy was like, it's all right, buddy. It's going to be all right, buddy.
Did he ask you what was going on, or he was just like, it's okay?
I don't remember. I wish I had a better memory because it was even funnier, the real story. I don't really remember, but I remember it being like, almost funny enough to laugh at that time.
How bad
yeah.
In the
but
moment.
It's okay, buddy.
It's okay.
He was very sweet Uber driver. I did not do the show at Mel's.
Oh, why not, dude? It's a good show.
Yeah. First time
it was brutal. It was a bar in the back of Mel's Diner.
One thing, quote I've always disagreed with is the show must go on. I feel like 90% of the time the show does not have to go on. There's no reason for the show to go on.
Everything will be okay without the show at Mel's Diner.
If all shows stopped, we'd be fine.
Yeah, things would be good. I think there was more emails. Let me just double check.
You want one more email, and then we'll wrap her up. Dude, Bryan, thanks for
I always get
letting
huge
us use your studio.
I get massive anxiety when questions are about like an interview style. Where I'm talking about my life. I'm going to think all day for some reason. I'm going to be swept up in anxiety. I don't know why. Does that happen to you? Anybody else? Like when you have to like talk about yourself?
Well, it's like it's almost the anxiety. I don't get that bad of anxiety, but I feel like if you have somebody giving you decent prompts, it's not bad. But it's like when you go into a job interview and the first thing they say is, tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? You want me to just fucking rattle off some shit about me?
Right.
I've known you for like 5 years, Brian, and I get little snippets of your biography, of your life. Yeah, and it is. I mean, you have a very interesting life, and so I'm always like, I'd like to get the chronological, Bryan Vokey story.
I have probably one of the most suburban white biographies you could ever have. Military bands and comedy.
When the suburbs go wrong.
Yeah, it's like the whitest biography ever.
This is this guy's very polite. This is this is an interesting question. Also, it said, "Hey, bag fries." We have names
and pronouns.
And pronouns. Yeah. Quick question for you. I know in the past Kevin has talked about podcasts like You Made It Weird or other podcasts like WTF that really romanticize the profession of stand-up comedy. So I'm curious, how did your perception of these podcasts changed after you guys moved to LA? Love the show, boys. Luke. Thanks, Luke. What do you guys think?
I used to love You Made It Weird. Like right when I first started doing stand-up, I would listen to Pete Holmes, and he's a guy who went to church and all that stuff, and so I was like, oh, it's like me,
Didn't you freak him out one time?
Yeah, I went to a show and I reached into a bag to give him a book I bought for him.
Did he think you were going to kill him?
Yeah, dude. Well, I rushed. He left the show early because I thought he was going to do a meet and greet, and so I ran after him right in the front of the Improv, and
with a bag and reaching into the bag.
That Bruce would have fucking bear maced you.
Oh, I would have pepper sprayed you immediately.
100%,
no questions,
dude.
asked.
No, so I had the backpack like on like both straps, and as I'm running out, I'm going Pete, like because I told him I was going to give him a book. On Facebook Messenger, we had talked.
He sent a ransom note.
Yeah, he said,
"Cut the letters out. I have a novel for you.
I'm going to give you a quote unquote book.
You'll love the ending."
Yeah, you literally sound like the guy who killed John Lennon.
Was the book Catcher in the Rye?
Yeah, of course.
What book was it?
No, it was The Alchemist.
It was 50 Shades of Grey.
Pete, I want to suck you.
Pete, you got to read this.
It's like porn.
No, I swung one of the straps off, and then I swung it around, and I reached in my bag, and I'm like, I have something for you.
I have something. Something.
Were you wearing lipstick at the
time? 100%. Yeah, I was wearing heels and lipstick.
You're dressed like Robert Durst.
Stewart wig.
You're dressed like Robert Durst while he shoplifts.
You're dressed like the Fonz and Waterboy when he's on the phone with the high heels.
I had a foot-long hoagie in the other hand.
I'm gonna fucking black out. Oh my god!
No, but I gave him the book, and I was very awkward because I realized what I had done. Like the moment I put my hand in the bag, I was like, "Oh, he thinks it's a gun," and I look like a psycho. So then I was just like, "It's a book for that." Remember, I got a book for you.
Mm-hmm.
I was on, and he's like, "Is it fiction?" And I was like, "Yeah, you'll like it." And then I just handed it to him. And he's like, thanks. And then he sent me a message later. But then I kept hearing stories about him being an asshole to everybody. And then I witnessed him like slough out, like shoo away like a couple of comics or whatever, which I totally understand.
Yeah, they probably had actual guns.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say after moving to LA, I fell out of love with almost every person that I like admired. Like I was like, oh, this guy's awesome, and then I would meet somebody and be like, oh, they're just like me, or
we're the same age, right?
Or whatever. I'm 40.
I'm 37, so essentially we're the same age.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting how when you get down to LA and like in life, I'm walking around with 37 years of experience, and when I meet somebody, like I'm carrying that with me, but like because of comedy and the business, like the power dynamic shift to where you'll be talking to a 28-year-old who's crushing it. And you kind of find yourself a little bit submitting to them because of where they're at. And it's like, man, this motherfucker doesn't know shit.
Yeah.
But like because of the business, you're kind of below this person.
Oh,
yeah.
It sucks, dude. Especially when you start late then like it's basically like if you didn't start high school till you were 30.
Right.
What's up, fellas? With your backpack.
You're like you're a 40-year-old freshman and you're talking to a 16-year-old senior and you're like, how does this work? And they're just like, let me tell you, man. Like, and I do hate it too, because there's situations too where it's like, because they have that one little edge up or whatever, then for some reason they think they know like everything. And in those situations, you just got to be like, so who do I tell? So you went to a class to get an agent and that's like what happened? Or like, your mom is Robert Redford. Oh, okay.
Right. Like, or the fact that like, there'll be somebody who's like half your age, but like you're hosting and they're like headlining the show or whatever, and the waiters and everybody's like kowtowing to them and they're just bullying over you and pushing you out of the way. And you're like, motherfucker, I've seen some shit. All right. Give me some, a little bit of respect just for still being alive, cocksucker. But that's my comedy goal. My ultimate comedy goal is to be in a place in my career where I'm not in the way always.
Yeah. We talked about that a lot, especially with like the Comedy Store shit. I mean, we talked about that a lot very early on of like the goal is to not be in the way.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Because whenever you first start, especially at the Comedy Store, I remember whenever I would first go there and I would like, you're trying so hard to be out of the way.
Yeah.
If you're smart. If you're smart or you have any brain activity at all, you're trying desperately to be out of the way. Right. And then you get these fucks.
It's like you want to be noticed, but like vaguely.
You want to be noticed the right way.
Like,
you want somebody to see you on stage and notice you that way, not notice you because you're chasing them and pulling a book out of a bag.
Yes.
You don't want to, you don't want that stink of an assassin.
Yeah, you pull the book open and it's cut out and there is a gun inside the book.
Yeah. But it's like a gun my grandfather made for you. I see how this looks weird.
No, Pete, it's a ghost gun.
It doesn't shoot.
The question about we're like with I still enjoy podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts and I still enjoy them. But my thing is almost the opposite, where whenever I had started, especially when you first start and all you want to listen, you listen to so much stand-up, and like on Pandora, whatever, like you're finding all these new comedians, and especially like before you move down here, like always listening to stand-up, where it's like now whenever I see a comedy special now, I almost never watch it because if it's somebody that I like, it's like I've already seen them working it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Most of the time.
So like I've seen them working that out, but it's like now it's like I don't. As far as whenever you know this, Kevin, what is happening?
That's his end.
Okay,
whenever the internet dropped out,
but it's coming through on it's coming through on the music.
See, look, he's frozen.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me, Kevin?
Yeah, that's not our end.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you're. Can
you hear me?
You're back.
Yeah, your internet dropped for a second.
Oh, okay.
So, but what, like I would say you'll attest to this, is that whenever I'm driving in the car with you and your thing is just on shuffle and stand-up comes on, I literally, faster than I've ever done anything in my life, I reach up and skip it. Because it's like, it's not even like I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear it because maybe it's going to bleed into my act. I just don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear it either.
And it's like, especially with that's something too, where you first get into comedy and the people that you like so much, you start seeing people who are trying to emulate them that are bad at comedy and they're doing a bad version of them. And it kind of, without even trying, makes you like them a little bit less because you're like, I've heard everybody doing this very poorly. And it's like that.
Who would you say you were a bad version? I was definitely easily a terrible Louis C.K. when I first started.
I would say Louis Stanhope Kinane.
What about you, Kevin?
I don't know, man. I the only thing I can say is that I don't think I watched enough stand-up before I started to like emulate too much. But I don't know. The only comic that anybody ever used to say that I reminded them of was Dave Chappelle when I first started, which is very odd. I know that I'm saying that out loud, but that's.
I thought that was a bit.
That was the. No. That's when I first started. My buddies would say that I sounded like Chappelle.
I remember when I first picked up a guitar, everybody was like, "You remind me of Paul McCartney."
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, shut up. Shut up. It wasn't his style; it was his voice or whatever. Like
Kevin was on stage like,
more.
"Man, I I was down there doing the dance. Yeah. Wow, Chappelle used to say.
Hung up pictures of his family.
Yeah, dude. Man, whenever I first started, Kinane, like just from Pandora and shit, Kinane was somebody that I like started listening to a lot, and it's very weird now, like being friends with him. It's very odd. Where like I feel like I just got over the fact, like
that's like when I lived with Maria Bamford.
Yeah,
Maria Bamford's one of my early.
Yeah,
she had this stand up. She was on Letterman when I was a kid doing. She did a bit on lifestyles of the rich and famous coming to her 1-bedroom apartment or her studio apartment. And it was like my favorite bit. I never saw, because one thing I always hated is like when people like a lot of people in comedy be like, don't tell them you're poor. Don't tell them you have a day job. Yeah. You know, you want them to think you're Maria's doing Letterman, talking about she lives in a studio apartment, has no money. And I'm like, yeah, dude, fuck off with all that shit. Just whatever is your shit, do it.
Well, I kind of fall into the same thing of whatever, but it's just whenever I'm working at the Comedy Store, if I'm not working in the same room that I'm going up in, I will always put on a jacket. Not like a sports jacket, but I will always.
I thought you were, again, I thought this was a bit.
No,
he's Chappelle, you're fucking Leno.
No, I'll just, literally, I'm not even fucking around. Almost every night whenever I go to the Comedy Store, I bring a backpack with a jacket in it, or a hoodie or something, so that if I'm going up in another room, I can just throw something over and nobody knows the difference of whether I'm working or not.
I get it. You cover the logo up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Not, but that's not because management doesn't give a fuck. I could do whatever the fuck I want. It's my own thing. If I don't want to be like, I just don't want the audience to be like, oh, this guy, something's going on here, and they needed the guy who's seating the room to go up here to waste time. Is the way I feel about it. Whenever I'm
I just try to full bore, like whatever is going on is going on.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah. Outside of that, I just don't like to. I mean, sometimes people that I work with will like, even though they're not wearing the thing, will go up and be like, yeah, I fucking work here. And I'm like, you just do it'll be fine. Just don't tell them that.
Yeah.
Don't let them know that. Which is the same. Yeah. There's the same other issues have had the same thing where it's like, if people come here and they realize that everybody on stage works here and they don't understand how the Comedy Store works, all they're going to think is like if you went to a music show and somebody was like, oh, the reason this show's good at night is because everyone who's playing in this band also takes out the trash here.
Yeah.
You'd be like, what the fuck are we seeing? Why are we watching this? Why would I ever watch that?
Yeah.
And one of the things I even like when I went to church and stuff, like anything, I hate going as a member of the audience. I don't like it. I don't like going places where I don't have a role in what is happening. Like that feeling of being in the way. Like I get that everywhere.
Yeah.
Like that's why like if I've made any headway in Los Angeles at all, it's the fact that I feel comfortable at the Comedy Store finally. You know, that like I know people there, I can say hi. I don't feel like people are all talking shit, you know, I don't know if they are, but you know, Bryan has accused me of being paranoid and overthinking and sensitive, and that all comes into play at the store. Like more
I would say diagnosed.
Else.
I wouldn't say accused.
Yeah, he diagnosed you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm waiting on my prescription refills. It just said rat poison on the prescription.
All I know is that if Kevin runs after me, I know it's not a book that's coming out of that
bag. No, it'll probably be a sandwich and be like, buddy, come on, let's hang.
It's fucking the lawn chairs that you bring to a fucking tailgate party.
Yeah, with the fold out ones.
Yeah, just folds out a chair.
You're riding one of those scooters that's also an ice chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, bro. Let's chill.
I only listen to podcasts with like musicians and fighters and athletes. That's all I really listen. I don't want to listen to I stopped listening to the comedy interviews with Maron a long time ago. I only listen to Maron interview musicians. But yeah, dude, I know we're trying to wrap up, but I just re-listened to Mark Maron interviewing Nick Cave, and Mark Maron has the funniest attitude because he opens up pretty early in the interview going, yeah, every girlfriend I've ever had was obsessed with you. And he brings that energy where it's like, you can tell he's staring at Nick Cave and thinking like, every girl I ever fucked wish they were fucking you.
Yeah.
And he had this chip on his shoulder for the whole interview. And you could tell he was really insecure. It's so fucking funny.
That's the best part about Maron, like that whole thing, like that dynamic right there, like the personal, taking it personal, like this is about him in a negative way.
Yeah.
It's just like, you asked me to come here.
Every girl that ever looked at me wished it was your cock in her, not mine. And then he's like, but that's the energy he's at when he's bringing when he's like, so you're from Australia? Is that what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Is it because I don't have an Australian cock? Is that what's wrong with me?
Yeah, he just can't put it between his legs and behind.
We call that going down under.
Yeah.
Bruce, get off your phone. I swear to God.
I was making sure we had nothing else going on. Just wanted to give, before we wrap up, shouts out to the international listeners. Shouts out Indonesia. Shouts out Costa Rica. Shouts out Portugal, dude. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Those are all countries that don't extradite.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of beautiful.
Shout out to our fans, and they're just fucking married to multiple teenagers over there.
Shout out to G Glitter. Just got an email from a G Glitter.
The recording stopped again.
All right, we're good. We'll just wrap it up. We're good. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you guys.
Well, no video for the outro.
Oh, we're done.
All right. Well, Brian, sit back down. I'll just get the audio real quick, and then.
Sit the fuck back down. Shut down, goddammit. We're peeling back the curtain here.
All right.
We're good.
Yeah. Well, folks, Brian, first off, thank you a ton for saving the day on this Brian. One. Appreciate and letting us use the setup and whatnot. And I hopefully will be getting better very soon. But if you enjoy the pod, go to bagfriespod@gmail.com and send us a line. Drop us a what's up and subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to what are you and Ramsey calling it?
The Brian and Ramsey Show.
That's easy. Subscribe to Boners. And of course Fat Jocks, and then you guys have been doing great as far as sharing all the little snippets we've been throwing out, so just keep that up. And if you want your question answered on the pod, send us an email. Anything else?
Review too, 5-star review on iTunes helps us out. Really do appreciate everybody.
Also, it's not a good bit to do the 4-star thing.
No, I tell people that all the time. I say, do 5 stars. Don't think it's funny.
That's not fucking funny. You're fucking with my paper.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions. No, I really do appreciate everybody being cool about the episode coming out late. I even talked to a few people on Instagram today telling them what was going on. So we're good. This is going to be out today. Just appreciate everybody listening. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah.
God bless.
Bye.
There's only one prophet, and his name is Muhammad.